is that? Yeah, let me open this.
What is that?
Meet the creator behind the popular YouTube channel 401 Files. He bravely ventures into the wilderness, often alone, seeking answers and documenting his experiences with the paranormal and the unknown. From eerie solo camps to investigating strange phenomena, his channel is a testament to his courage. The video begins with him arriving at a new, unexplored forest, ready to spend the night alone in his hammock.
So that's the hammock setup. I am in a new forest today, so I've never explored this part of the North Yorkshire Moors before, which is exciting. It's always nice to get out into new areas and just, wander off, see what you can find, which is what I intend to do tonight. Obviously, this place will become a different world entirely once nightfall comes, which makes it all that more exciting.
As he settled into his camp, surrounded by the quiet woods, he began to share a particularly chilling story sent in by a viewer.
While I'm just sitting here, guys, I'm going to share a story with you that came in, a really fascinating one. And it shares a lot of similarities to stories that I've heard previously along these same lines. So I can't remember if these two guys asked to remain anonymous in the email. It's irrelevant. But the crux of the story is this. So two guys, 18, 19 years old, height of summer, I'm not sure what year this was here in the UK, doing an overnight beach camp. Beautiful night, really warm, they had the beach to themselves.
It involved two young men camping on a beach who noticed a strange light out at sea. Their debate about it being a boat was cut short when the light began moving sporadically, making impossible right-angle turns above the water.
They both get into this back and forth debate as to whether or not it's a boat. That is quickly debunked when this light starts not only to change colour, but to move very sporadically left and right, making sharp right-angle turns. And they soon realise that it's not actually even in the water.
One of the men decided to shine a high-powered torch at the object, a decision they would instantly regret.
And he narrows the beam down. It's one of those ones where you can adjust the beam from either a floodlight type or to a narrow beam. He does this, shines it on the object, and within fractions of seconds...
In a fraction of a second, the light was no longer out at sea, but instantaneously at the edge of the shore, just meters away. What happened next is even more disturbing.
At the point where water meets sand, like at the edge of the beach. They didn't see this thing travel the distance that it required to get to this point. It was just boom, instantaneously at the edge of the beach. They were like freaked out, thinking, what the hell? How did that even get from out there at sea to the edge of the beach, which is only 50 meters away from where we are, in that space of time, without us seeing it make that journey? The weirdest part is what comes next. So they don't remember having a conversation about this event. They just wake up the next morning, their head is throbbing, massive headache, and they're trying to be logical as possible. They're trying to put this down to maybe it was the beers that we drunk, maybe we had more than we thought, maybe we're dehydrated, who knows, with the heat, who knows. But they don't remember getting into their tent. They don't remember having some in-depth conversation about this weird light. It was kind of just out at sea, he shines the torch, it's there at the edge of the beach where water meets sand, and then they wake up the next morning completely oblivious.
They woke up the next morning with pounding headaches and a huge gap in their memory, with no recollection of how they got into their tent or what happened after the light appeared. This story led the creator to ponder the true nature of such encounters.
And this made me laugh a little bit when I was reading this story, because I think a lot of the times, especially with the UFO phenomena, we hear people talking about love and light. It's all love and light. This is something that Steve Merritt talks about massively. We like to romanticize things. We like to romanticize the idea that these super intelligent beings are coming from somewhere else to lead us down the right path and have our best interests at heart. But my take on it is this, right? If you're hanging out with someone, let's just say this little alien crew of 5 rocked up at the edge of the beach, abducted these two guys, 18 and 19 years old, for whatever reason. If I'm hanging out with someone and we're friends, there is never a time when they should need to make me forget. Like that, I'd be concerned if I was hanging out with a dude and, you know, I thought, wow, this is a nice guy, we're having a good time, chilled vibes. But then for whatever reason during this little interaction, he has to make me forget what's happened that night. Like, that's not cool. That's weird.
As dusk settled, the forest's own eerie nature began to make itself known. Out of nowhere, a bizarre sound echoed through the trees, a common occurrence in the notoriously strange North York moors, putting him on high alert.
The action camera will be. What the hell was that? Out of all the places I've come to explore in my life, the North Yorkshire Moors provides the weirdest sounds you've ever heard.
The unsettling atmosphere prompted him to discuss another terrifying type of encounter he's heard reported many times. He described how witnesses, in a moment of sheer terror, see their friend's face freeze, their jaw dropping to an impossible, inhuman length, like the mask from a horror movie.
This face. People have been with friends at the time of one of these experiences or these encounters. They say that when they look at their friend's face, maybe it's their friend that's seen this creature first. You know, what the hell? Jesus. Lily, come. Lily, come. Did you guys see that? What the hell? A rabbit just literally ran. I thought it was Lily at first. Nearly jumped into my lap. What the hell? Jesus. Lily, come. Yeah, sorry guys. This face that I'm talking about right now, like I've said, it could be two friends out on a hike, you know, maybe they're out camping, and one of the friends sees something off in the distance that the other friend doesn't see. Now, the friend that didn't see the being off in the woods or wherever, when they look at their friend after the sighting, they say that their face is frozen in fear. Now, this would be absolutely terrifying, right? Their face, their jaw is oddly open at a level that shouldn't even be possible. It's like their face is melted and just drooped down. They look like the Scream mask. You know the movie Scream?
Even more horrifying is the description of how these beings move. Witnesses claim they don't run or walk, but glide unnaturally through the dense woods. The creator's own past encounter involved a creature that walked normally, abiding by the same physical laws as us. This leads him to believe we aren't just dealing with one species of unknown beings, but potentially millions of different races and intelligences, some of which may be nothing more than orbs of consciousness.
That would be game over. I think my heart would just give up there and then on the spot. Now, luckily for me, the creature that I saw didn't walk like that. The creature that I saw walked quite normal, like me right now. It seemed like it had to abide by the same physical laws that I was. But something that I've said for many, many years, we aren't just dealing with one species. A lot of people talk about the alien greys. It's more than that. There will be hundreds, thousands, if not millions of races, cultures, beings, intelligence out there. And I say intelligence as though it's not physical, because there will be that as well. There'll be just orbs of consciousness that have no longer, you know, they've outgrown the need of a body altogether. They're just floating orbs of consciousness and intelligence.
This would explain why no two encounter stories are ever exactly the same. Both could be equally true. While his night was filled with sharing chilling tales, the forest itself seemed to be listening, a constant, ominous presence. His experience serves as a stark reminder that when you step into the wilderness, you're entering a world that doesn't play by our rules. The quiet solitude of the wilderness can be a peaceful escape, but sometimes that silence is broken by something that should not be there. What starts as a peaceful night can quickly spiral into a fight for survival. Meet the creator behind the YouTube channel Oreo Speedwagon R/T. He and his partner Rachel document their journey, sharing the freedom and beauty of life on the road. Their content is usually a source of inspiration for fellow travelers. But during one remote camping trip, the idyllic adventure they were expecting turned into a harrowing ordeal, reminding them that when you're miles from civilization, you are completely on your own. The trip had been normal for the first couple of nights, but as soon as the other campers packed up and left, a heavy, oppressive feeling settled over the area. Alone in the vast wilderness with Rachel and his dog, Badger, the channel's host couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong.
We've been out here a couple of nights. Been very quiet, very normal feeling. And since everyone's left except us, it's felt different. And I don't know how to explain that. It has felt more, it's almost felt oppressive, and I don't really care for that.
He was sitting inside his van when a chilling sound from the darkness outside shattered the silence. A scream, unlike anything he had ever heard before.
And it sounded like I heard something scream down here. Could have been a bobcat or whatever, I don't know.
Unwilling to sit and wonder, he grabbed his camera and went to investigate, but his search turned up nothing. He tried to rationalize what he heard, but the sound was deeply unsettling, bizarrely reminding him of the T-Rex roar from Jurassic Park.
It almost sounded like a, I don't want to say a roar, because then people are going to start thinking, well, I'm thinking it's something else. I don't know what it is, but it was almost like a, best description I have of it is, it sounded like, and don't laugh when I say this, the T-Rex in Jurassic Park.
As he ventured further from the van, his dog Badger suddenly became alert, staring intently into a specific area in the woods with his ears perked up. He knew that animals often sense things humans can't, and Badger's reaction only deepened his growing sense of dread.
Badger was outside a while ago, and he seems okay now. But a while ago, there were two specific areas, and they're actually back off over here somewhere, that he was staring at, and his ears would pop up.
A short while later, the terrifying sound echoed through the trees again, this time confirming his fears. He wasn't just hearing things. He was genuinely freaked out, knowing his partner was asleep in the van, vulnerable and unaware of the potential danger lurking just outside.
I heard it again down here. I'm a little freaked out. You know, Rachel is taking a nap in the van.
Determined not to let the unnerving sounds ruin their trip, he returned to the van. He and a now awake Rachel sat in the quiet, listening intently to the sounds of the night.
Can y'all hear the... Well, they are getting it, aren't they?
Yeah.
I hope it's showing up.
They're close.
Yeah, let me open this.
The real terror, however, was yet to come. Around 2:30 a.m., he was violently jolted awake. The van was moving, and he could hear the distinct sound of someone trying to force open the door.
All right, so I just woke up to somebody trying to get in our van. It's like 2:30 now. Woke up, I felt the van move, heard somebody try to open the door.
Heart pounding, he scrambled to turn on the exterior lights. The moment the light flooded the area, he heard hurried footsteps and the sound of a vehicle speeding away. He got out of the van just in time to see taillights disappear up the road, only for them to stop a short distance away and abruptly turn off, cloaking the vehicle in darkness.
Got up and turned the side light on. And when I did, and started moving around, I heard some steps and I heard a vehicle take off from up over here. And I got outside, and I could hear the steps, or I could hear the vehicle. I'm sorry, I can't talk because I'm kind of shaking up right now. I could hear the tires rolling on gravel, and they went up this way and then made a left and I could see tail lights, and they sat there for a minute. Then the tail lights went off.
They were out in the middle of nowhere, and someone had just brazenly tried to break into their van while they were sleeping inside. Realizing they were being watched by someone with unknown intentions, they knew they had to leave immediately.
A long ways away from anybody, and somebody trying to get in the van when it's obviously somebody's camping here. You can see our lawn chairs. You can see, I mean, we're camping. And yeah, somebody just come and brazenly try to get in.
Who was out there in the dark, and what did they want? The initial strange roars and the sudden silence of the coyotes now seemed like a sinister prelude to the real threat. By stopping up the road and cutting their lights, the stranger made their malicious intent clear. They weren't just passing by. He and Rachel made the only choice they could. They packed up and fled into the night, leaving the oppressive darkness behind. Their quick thinking likely saved them from a far more violent confrontation, a chilling reminder that sometimes the greatest monsters are human. Exploring forgotten places alone often blurs the line between adventure and terror. But what happens when the darkness answers back and you realize you are not as alone as you thought? Tonight, we examine a chilling exploration that quickly turned into a fight for survival. This footage will make you question what really lurks in the shadows. Meet Dee, the creator behind the YouTube channel Dee's Dark Adventures. She is known for her fearless solo explorations into some of the most unsettling and remote locations. With her camera as her only companion, Dee documents her journeys, capturing the eerie stillness and forgotten histories of the places she visits. Her audience is used to her calm demeanor in the face of the unknown, but a recent exploration would test her courage in a way no one, least of all her, could have ever anticipated. The video begins with Dee making her way to a secluded river, the atmosphere already thick with isolation. She seems calm, setting the stage for what she believes will be just another night of exploration.
Let's lead right out to the river. Okay,
However, the tranquility is shattered in an instant. A sudden sharp reaction from Dee signals that something is wrong. Her voice, filled with genuine fear, reveals that she has provoked something unseen. And whatever it is, it's not happy about her presence.
Oh my god. Okay, they didn't like that.
Struggling to process what just happened, Dee attempts to calm her nerves, her heavy breathing betraying her fear as she tries to reassure herself that everything is fine.
Oh god. Okay, we're fine. Those trails are crazy. Crazy.
The sense of being watched is now palpable, turning the once quiet location into a place of imminent threat, adding another layer of unsettling mystery to the encounter. It's unclear if she's talking about actual trains or something far more sinister. The footage ends shortly after, leaving a storm of unanswered questions. What did Dee see by the river that night? It was something that understood her intrusion and made its displeasure known. Some dangers are unseen, only felt. Dee's adventure serves as a stark reminder that when you venture into the dark, you are entering a world that is not your own. Fortunately, she managed to leave the area, but the chilling mystery of who was out there with her remains. One thing is certain, she had a brush with something that wanted her gone, and she's lucky she listened. Venturing into the woods alone at night can be terrifying, but what happens when you stumble upon a scene so disturbing it feels like it was staged just for you? Tonight, we follow an explorer who sought a local legend but found something far more sinister. Meet Gaz, the creator behind the YouTube channel Grizzly Gaz. Through his videos, he takes viewers on authentic outdoor adventures, wild camping in remote locations, and exploring the forgotten corners of the wilderness, usually with his trusty dog Fendi by his side. His calm demeanor and love for nature are central to his content, but one night, a search for a local myth would lead him to a discovery that was both unpredictable and deeply unsettling. On a quiet evening, Gaz arrived at a remote reservoir in search of a fabled druid's altar he had read about online. He planned to camp for the night, but the area was still busy with dog walkers, forcing him to wait until darkness fell to set up his camp. While biding his time, he spotted what looked like an abandoned campsite nearby, adding another layer of mystery to his solo expedition.
Oh, what's that down there? I keep reading about a druid's altar that's buried in the woods of this reservoir. Now, I don't know where it is, but we're gonna find it. Oh, what's that on top of it? But this particular reservoir is very popular with dog walkers, so I'm gonna have to hang fire a little bit until everybody's buggered off home before I could set up camp. What was that? I'm gonna have to find somewhere where I can chill out and look like a normie until everyone's buggered off. Why would it be upside down? It's Genesis. Tell you what, I did spot my way in as well. And it looks like an abandoned campsite. So we'll go have a look at that as well and see if...
Once the coast was clear, Gaz and Fendi made their way into the woods to set up their home for the night. He proudly displayed his newly dyed tent, its olive green color blending perfectly with the darkening forest.
And there she is. What do you think to me, new tent? Well, it's not a new tent, but I've dyed it. So it's a new tent to me. A lot different, and a lot more stealth. There you go, that shows you a bit better. That's the original.
As he settled in to enjoy a warm drink, the tranquility was shattered. A loud, sudden crash echoed from deep within the woods, sounding unnervingly like a tree falling. He froze, listening intently, but the forest fell silent once more, leaving him with a growing sense of unease.
What was that? Could you hear that? Definitely sounded like a tree falling down from over there somewhere. I kept hearing stuff up behind me, and then big crash right over there, but I can't see out through trees.
The unnerving crash had come from the direction of the abandoned camp he had seen earlier. Despite his apprehension, Gaz's curiosity pushed him to investigate. As he and Fendi moved through the darkness, he couldn't shake the feeling that heading toward the noise was a bad idea.
I've just realised that that tree that collapsed earlier, don't know if this is a good idea now. Come on, we need to go have a look, don't we?
The campsite turned out to be nothing more than a mess of trash left by teenagers, a brief moment of relief in the tense atmosphere. With that mystery solved, he turned his attention back to his main goal, finding the druid's altar. Now venturing deeper into the pitch-black woods, the feeling of being watched intensified. The situation grew worse as his head torch began to flicker and die, plunging him into moments of total darkness.
Oh, my head torch seems to be running out of battery now. Watch, it'll dim in a minute. Keeps dimming. Great. That's all we need. Oh, definitely just saw eye shine over there.
In one of those fleeting moments of light, he caught the distinct glint of eye shine in the distance. He held his breath, but the eyes vanished as quickly as they appeared, leaving him to wonder what was out there with him. Just as his light threatened to fail completely, he stumbled upon it. There, in a small clearing, stood the altar. but what he saw resting on top sent a chill down his spine.
Oh, what's that down there? Is that it? Don't know if you can see. Oh, I'll have to find a way down there. Come on, I think we found it. There it is.
An upside-down Holy Bible lay open on the cold slab. The bizarre and sacrilegious sight was deeply unnerving, transforming his adventure into something that felt wrong and sinister. The book was open to Genesis, and strange scribbles were visible on the pages, adding to the disturbing mystery.
Holy Bible. That says the end there. Why would it be upside down? Is Genesis the first passage of the Bible? I don't know. That's creepy, isn't it? Upside down Bible. Oh, I don't like that.
Upon closer inspection, Gaz realized the altar wasn't ancient at all. It was built from modern concrete blocks. This wasn't a historical site. It was a stage, deliberately set for some unknown purpose. The combination of the modern construction, the upside-down Bible, and the utter isolation of the spot was deeply unsettling. Realizing his torch was about to die and his nerve was fading, he knew he had to get back to the safety of his tent immediately. Although Gaz and Fendi made it back safely, the image of the altar was burned into his mind. Who would construct such a scene, and why? Was it an elaborate prank meant to scare explorers, or was it the site of something far more nefarious? The mystery of that night remains unsolved. A strange noise in the woods can be explained away, but a deliberately staged scene like an upside-down Bible on a makeshift altar speaks to a disturbing human element. You can never be sure of a person's motives or what they might do. Fortunately, Gaz trusted his instincts and left before he had to find out. One thing is for sure, he won't be forgetting what he found in those woods anytime soon. Venturing into ancient woods at night is an exercise in bravery, but what happens when the chilling folklore of the land proves to be true? Tonight, we follow an investigator into a forest haunted by witches, Roman soldiers, and the ghosts of war, where the past refuses to stay buried. Meet Sam, the creator behind the YouTube channel Sam Walks a Lot. Through her videos, she guides viewers on historical and paranormal explorations of the UK's most mysterious locations. From forgotten ruins to haunted forests, her solo adventures are known for their quiet bravery and atmospheric tension. But for this investigation, she brought along fellow explorer Nick to a place with a reputation so dark, she swore she'd never visited at night, Grovely Wood. On a dark evening, Sam and Nick arrived at the edge of the woods, a place steeped in 300 years of ghostly folklore and the hidden history of a world war. They were on a dual mission: to find the forgotten World War II bunkers hidden beneath the earth, and to discover if the woods were truly as haunted as the legends claimed.
Hello everyone, here we are in Grovely Wood. Tonight I'm doing something that I said I was never going to do, which is being here at night looking for World War II bunkers. Nick and I are on a historical hunt. He thinks he can lead us to one or two of the forgotten World War II bunkers called Stanton shelters. I was unable to find them when I was here with weird wheelchair, so this is going to be really interesting. We actually got lost.
Don't say that.
We're going all Blair Witch on this one. And second, we are here to see if the stories are true. Are the ghosts of World War II really haunting the ammo store, or are the older, more tragic spirits?
As they stepped onto the path, a heavy silence descended. They were walking on a great ridge road, an ancient military artery laid down by the Romans nearly 2,000 years ago, now reclaimed by nature. It's a place where spectral soldiers are said to march, and the air is thick with the weight of centuries.
Now you have a story about this, don't you?
I was up here about 2 years ago visiting the witches' trees, and I met a couple of young ladies, and one of them told me a story that she looked over her shoulder and the carriage completely disappeared. Gone.
The woods hold more than just Roman ghosts. Nick recounted a story told to him by a cyclist who witnessed a golden, ghostly royal carriage appear on the path before vanishing into thin air. This legend ties into a darker tale, that of the Burkham woodsman, a shadowy figure seen lingering just beyond the tree line, his presence announced by the snapping of a twig and the unnerving feeling of being watched.
Usually a shadow figure can be seen behind the trees. It doesn't come past the tree line. And usually he makes himself known with a snapping of a twig and feeling of being watched. I mean, we're in the forest. Twig snapping is quite normal, so that's okay. But when I was here last year, or almost 2 years ago, we were at the house and I heard a twig snapping.
Yeah.
For Sam, this was a chilling reminder of a previous visit where a sudden twig snap was followed by an inexplicable event that left her on the ground, shaken and confused. Their first destination was the site of the wood's most infamous legend, the Hansel sisters. In 1737, 4 sisters were accused of witchcraft, dragged into these woods, and murdered. Legend says that 4 gnarled beech trees grew from their unmarked graves.
In 1737, smallpox epidemic tore through the nearby town of Wilton. According to legend, the panicked locals turned on 4 Danish sisters with last name Hansel. They were accused of witchcraft, dragged here in the woods, and they were killed. Now, legend has it that they were buried in unmarked graves and that gnarly beech trees grew where the bodies were buried.
As Sam and Nick searched in the dark, they began hearing faint, disembodied voices that sounded like women. They pressed on, their unease growing, until they finally found the 4 sinister-looking trees, surrounded by a man-made protective circle of branches.
Stepping into the circle. There you go. So, if there's anyone here with us now, if you interact with this, it will pick your presence up. It doesn't do anything, it just makes a sound and changes color. Oh no! Thank you for that. Thank you so much. That was immediate.
Straight away.
Could you please touch this box again? Just once more.
Sam placed a ghost hunting device inside the circle and asked if any spirits were present. Almost immediately, the device lit up, confirming a presence. They moved to the second tree and asked again. Once more, the device flashed red.
Hello? If you're here with us, can you touch that box with the green light on? It's not going to hurt you. It would just let us know that you're here. No way! Thank you. Thank you so much.
A chilling pattern began to emerge. At the third tree, the same thing happened, a direct response to their request. And finally, at the 4th and final tree, the device lit up again, confirming an intelligent presence at each of the 4 cursed grave sites. 4 trees, 4 responses. They were not alone.
Hello, if you're here with us, can you please, I'm going to step away from it because otherwise there are lights inside that you can turn on. If you walk past it or you touch it, this is insane.
4 out of 4.
4 out of 4.
Leaving the terrifying energy of the witches' trees behind, they pushed deeper into the forest to find their second objective, the hidden Stanton shelters from World War II. After a difficult search in the pitch-black darkness, they finally located the entrance to a bunker, a concrete scar half swallowed by the earth.
Well, this is a path that someone... Ah, here it is. Found it.
Let's go.
Okay. Oh, look at this.
The moment they stepped inside, the atmosphere changed. It was cold, cramped, and utterly silent. This was a place where soldiers once sought refuge, and it felt like some had never left. Inside the bunker, the paranormal activity intensified. Sam turned on a spirit box, and the responses that came through were immediate and disturbing.
Okay, strangled by whom? What is your name?
Hiding.
You're hiding.
The device then named multiple spirits: Cyrus, Jeffrey, and Anna.
Cyrus.
Cyrus, your name is Cyrus. Hi, Cyrus. My name is Sam.
My name is Nick.
It's nice to meet you. Why are you hiding? It's okay. We're not going to hurt you. We just want to talk.
Drain camera.
You're going to drain my camera?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Okay, that's my mom's name. I'm going to try the other one. Make sure that it's not the light. Could you please talk to us? You're not far from here. Where are you? I did ask, where are you? Earlier.
Yeah.
Where are you? Not far from here, where? And why are you here? Were you here during the war? You're mourning. What are you mourning?
Sam began to feel a headache, and as she asked if a spirit was causing it, strange noises echoed from outside the bunker, cutting the session short. The spirits fell silent. Although Sam and Nick left the bunker, the chilling questions linger. Who were the spirits of Cyrus, Jeffrey, and Anna, and what tragic events led them to be trapped in that dark, forgotten shelter? Were they soldiers or victims of something more sinister? The woods hold its secrets tightly, from the ancient spirits of the witches' trees to the sorrowful ghosts of war. One thing is certain: Sam and Nick found what they were looking for, and it was far more real and unsettling than they could have ever imagined. Exploring the wilderness alone can be a peaceful retreat, but what happens when the silence is broken by something truly unsettling? Tonight, we follow one explorer whose solo camping trip turns into a night of escalating terror. Meet Angelo, the adventurer behind the YouTube channel Exploring with Angelo. He takes his viewers on thrilling journeys into the unknown, but his latest solo trip to a place ominously named Haunted Lake would test his courage like never before. From strange sounds in the distance to an overwhelming feeling of being watched, his night in the woods would quickly spiral into a fight for his own safety. Upon arriving, Angelo set up his camp, ready for a night under the stars. While explaining the location's eerie reputation, he shared a chilling discovery he'd made online, a recent Google review of the lake detailing a terrifying encounter.
When I went on Google, I found something kind of funny, kind of creepy at the same time. Now, the last time we came here, I think, was about 2.5 to maybe 3 weeks ago. This person gave it a 1-star review. He said that he got chased out by a creepo wearing all black. At first, I thought it was another explorer like me, but then she, I don't even know, started growling at me and started to follow me. I didn't know what to do, so I started walking faster, and it matched my speed. I started running to my car, and it followed me all the way to my car. As soon as I got in my car, he pulled the handle, but I locked it. I drove off. To this day, I don't know what the hell that thing was.
A user claimed to have been chased from the area by a growling figure dressed in all black, an unsettling story that would linger in the back of Angelo's mind as darkness began to fall. It wasn't long before the woods began to live up to their name, and his unease grew with every passing moment. As night consumed the landscape, Angelo decided to investigate a nearby trail, armed with a rifle for protection. The atmosphere grew thick and hazy, and the deeper he walked, the more he felt like he was being watched. He began hearing clear, unexplainable sounds that were definitely not from any animal he knew.
What the f*** was that? No. Whatever's back there, stay back. Dude, that was no animal. That was something else. What did that? Something's moving out there. Okay. I'm gonna start making my way back. Maybe this was a bad idea coming in here alone. Damn it. Okay. I don't know. Dude, something like made a really weird noise. What is that?
The sounds were so unnatural and unnerving that a sense of real danger washed over him, forcing him to retreat to the relative safety of his campfire. Back at camp, but still deeply unsettled, Angelo made a fateful decision: to use a Ouija board. He knew the risks, but his desire for answers outweighed his caution. The session took a terrifying turn when the entity claimed someone else was present with them. It confirmed that something was standing directly behind Angelo, breathing on him, and then that it had placed its hand on his back.
Is someone directly behind me? Breathing? It just said yes. Do you have a name? It just said no. Are you human? Okay, why am I hearing almost like a grunt? Okay, I'm gonna close the portal. Oh shit. I'm gonna close the portal whether you like it or not. Oh my god, something is touching me. Something has its hand right on my back. Is that you with your hand on my back? Oh my god, every hair on the back of my neck is literally standing up right now. Okay, you have to let go. Please let go of me.
A wave of dread washed over him as he felt a presence he couldn't see. He frantically forced the session to a close, but the feeling of being watched and touched by an unseen force lingered. Exhausted and on edge, Angelo eventually dozed off in his chair by the fire, only to be jolted awake by a horrific nightmare.
What is that? There's my flashlight. I don't know what that is, but I just had the most up dream. The weird part is that I was here in the daytime, and there was a man that came from back there, and legit, like, half his face was missing. What the?
In the dream, he was at the campsite in the daytime when a man approached from the woods, a man whose face was gruesomely half missing. The image was so vivid and disturbing that Angelo woke up in a state of panic, believing it to be a dire warning. That nightmare was the final straw. Convinced that his safety was at risk, Angelo immediately began packing up his entire camp in the middle of the night. He was no longer just exploring, he was escaping. Although Angelo made it out safely, the questions from that night at Haunted Lake remain. What was making those inhuman sounds in the woods? What entity did he communicate with through the Ouija board? And was the man in his dream just a nightmare or a warning of a real physical danger lurking in the dark? The mystery of what resides there remains unsolved, a chilling reminder that some places are best left alone. Sometimes the greatest danger isn't a wild animal, but the unseen forces you might awaken. Angelo's instincts told him to flee, and he wisely listened. One thing is for certain: that horrifying vision and the feeling of being touched by something otherworldly will haunt him for a long time to come. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these clips, subscribe to my channel and click to see more on the video on screen.